Good morning. It's not Monday or Tuesday, it's Wednesday. Today is the first time it's been quiet in the library so that I could do this book talk. So I'm going to go ahead and get it rolled out, but you probably won't see it till Thursday. Can I say? It's a week in the library. This week I read 4 nonfiction books. I don't know if I've ever read any nonfiction book. Okay. These are the books I read, though, so let's not get really excited about the breadth of what I've read. They're children's books, but they were very informative, some more than others. This 1621, A New Look at Thanksgiving, talks about how we perceive the Pilgrims and the Native Americans' grand meal and what actually happened and how things really turned out. It was really good. It's full of pictures. There's some recipes in it even. I really enjoyed it. I wish there was more. Obviously, it's a children's book, so there's not more. And I'm going to seek some more out on my own, but I really did enjoy it. It's from the museum, and so they've got some pictures and reenactment photos that illustrate what it might have looked like. I really did enjoy it. It was very, very good. So, the Valentine's Day book, if you don't know anything about the history of Valentine's, it's interesting. If you know some things, maybe not so much. There's some crafts in this book as well. Again, it's a children's book. They talk about where Valentine's Day cards come from. The most interesting thing about this book to me was the fact that 3 different people named Valentine were martyred, which means killed for their convictions, on February 14th. So, St. Valentine's Day, Bloody Valentine's Day, it's probably all still accurate. I did enjoy reading it actually on Valentine's Day, though, because I love a seasonally appropriate kind of book. And then Helen's Eyes, which is not a book about Helen per se, but about her teacher, Annie Sullivan. This was a great book. Even though it's a children's book, it's packed full of information. I think it would be kind of a heavy read for a children's book. There's great photos that I've never seen before. I really love, obviously, Helen Keller's in the book because that's what Annie does with her life, is help Helen through it. But it's so informative. The photos are so great. I highly recommend it if you are interested in Helen Keller or Annie Sullivan or deaf-blind instruction or early teaching methods, any of those things. It's so good. And then this is what took me the most of the time, Hidden Figures. You may have seen the trailers for the movie. You may have seen the movie. I have not seen the movie, so I can't say how they compare, but this book was terrific. You know how there's that phrase that Black history is American history? It is. It so is. This book is sold as a story about 3 women mathematicians who launched the space program. And it does talk about that. But it also talks about the space program in general. And it talks about segregation. And it talks about women entering the workforce during the war and how so many of them got kicked back out when the GIs came home. It talks about how the world changed and how the South was set up. It talks about Greenbrier, which was the president's secret bunker for years and years and years. It's not just about these 3 women. It's not just a black history. It's a history book, and it's told so well. There's so much information in it. Sometimes I got lost with the science, and sometimes the history and the names, it was hard to keep up with. It was worth it. It was so good. The 3 women that the book travels with aren't necessarily friends or even co-workers side by side in an office, but they all play a part to get John Glenn onto the moon. So if you're interested in aerospace or aeronautics or women's history or black history or segregation or Langley in general, this is your book. It's so informative. It's really well written, and it's not hard to read. I don't have a lot of ball games to go to last week, so I didn't have a lot of free time. I highly recommend this book. We have some other books on display with our Black History is American History Month display up front. So let us know if you want to check one of those things out or if you want to read something that we don't have yet. We'll be happy to look into it. Have a great day.